guys, I'm your host Stephanie. This is my very first show that I'm doing for you guys, and I'm here on Leaderboard. What's up? If you're under the age of 13, you might not recognize the word Tetris. I tell you, this show is for you. We're bringing you 107 facts that you need to know about Tetris. Let's start the show. Number 1, Tetris was created by Alexei Pajitnov in 1984. It was before our time, but an absolute classic. Number 2, Pajitnov made the game while working at the Soviet Academy of Sciences at their computer center in Moscow. Number 3, Pajitnov, a huge enthusiast of puzzle games, shaped his favorite game, Pentominoes, into his programming. Number 4, the very first version that Pajitnov actually created was for the Electronica 60. It consisted of brackets and, black and white graphics and tons of brackets. Number 5, Pajitnov's friend Vadim Gerasimonov, very Russian name, ported the very first version of the game into IBM's PC. Number 6, in the summer of 1985, he distributed the first color version of the game to all of his buddies. And let's just say it blew up. Within 2 weeks, every single computer in Moscow was playing Tetris. Number 7, rumor has it that Moscow officials actually had to take away every floppy disk version because, well, let's just say all the staff were a little too addicted to the game and weren't doing their job. Number 8, Tetris has actually been played in over 185 countries. Number 9, Tetris has actually sold over 425 million copies on mobile devices. Number 10, its creator Alexei Pajitnov actually didn't even see a dime of the earnings until the mid-1990s. Given the political nature of the time, he wasn't able to publish the game on his own. Number 11, it was incredibly difficult for Tetris to be brought in from the Soviet Union to other countries at the time. But Henrik B. Rogers, the owner of Bulletproof Software, was responsible for bringing in all the games into Japan. He was certain Tetris was a perfect fit for Nintendo's new upcoming Game Boy. But first he had to get the rights. So he flew himself over to Moscow, and while using his tourist visa, he set up a meeting with ELORG, which is the state-owned bureau in charge of importing and exporting software. He said he eventually got the meeting consisting of 9 people, including Pajitnov and some KGB members. That must have been super stressful. And after 2 grueling hours of them just kind of staring at him, they agreed. Number 12, Nintendo actually originally didn't even want Tetris. Today though, Tetris and Game Boy are inseparable in people's minds. Rogers seriously argued to Nintendo though. He said, if you want to sell Game Boy to children, then go ahead and put Mario. If you want to sell the game to everyone, then you put Tetris. Number 13, Tetris was initially designed to make computers less intimidating. Pajitnov initially was just testing the capabilities of computer, but he was also trying to show people that computers had a lot more uses than just business. Number 14, Tetris was said to be too boring in the beginning. Roger loved the game, but he noted that in the beginning some of the tutorial stuff was just a little slow and boring for some players. He was smart enough to go ahead and suggest to Pajitnov that he should include the bonuses. You know those bonuses that we all love, like where you have to complete 2 or 3 lines and it's wham! That's like the best part of the game. I'm just saying. Number 15, Tetris is actually good for your health. In 1992, there was a study that found that playing the game actually helped to promote brain activity. And last year, doctors at the Research Center of McGill University Health Center found that a variation of the game was effective in actually treating adult amblyopia, which is also known as the lazy eye. Number 16, Tetris is a permanent exhibit in a museum. New York City's Museum of Modern Art holds all sorts of crazy curiosities. But the fully playable version of the original 1984 Tetris has to be among the most fun. The game is part of the museum's Applied Design exhibit, alongside Pac-Man, Myst, and other tons of amazing titles. Number 17, Tetris can make you thinner. Psychologists at Plymouth University actually found that after playing just 3 minutes of Tetris, it can stop your cravings. Tetris is amazing. Number 18, Tetris wasn't Pajitnov's only hit game. He originated and designed Hexix, which was included in every Xbox 360 package. And most recently, he developed Marbly for iOS devices. Number 19, 4-celled blocks are called tetrominoes. Number 20, tetrominoes are the 4-celled version of the polyomino. Say that 3 times fast. Polyomino is a geometric term that predates Tetris, and it's been featured in various games since 1907. Number 21, Pajitnov initially wanted to create a game using 5-celled polyominoes called Tetris Pentominoes. But it was a little too complicated since there's like 12 different shape variations for the pentominoes and only about 7 variations for the tetrominoes. Number 22. Each of the 7 variants has a name. We've got O tetrominoes and I tetrominoes and T tetrominoes and L tetrominoes and J tetrominoes and S tetrominoes and Z tetrominoes. Number 23. Tetris got its name from the Greek word tetra, meaning 4, and tennis, which was actually his favorite game to play. Number 24. The 10 by 20 grid that we actually play the game on is called a well or a matrix. Number 25. While the software company Animatrack was suffering some financial difficulties, there was Vladimir Pokhilko, once again I'm butchering this, who was often credited as the co-investor of Tetris. He actually killed his wife and son before killing himself. I know, totally dark fact, I'm sorry guys. Number 26. According to the Guinness World Book of Records, Tetris is the most ported game in all of history, appearing on 65 different platforms. Number 27. Tetris was the very first video game to be played in outer space. A Game Boy version of the game spent 196 days orbiting the Earth aboard the Mir space station. Number 28. There exists an algorithm that, in theory, will let you play the game of Tetris forever. Number 29. However, researchers at the University of, here we go guys, another one I'm gonna butcher, Erlangen-Nuremberg, proved that it's impossible to create a strategy for a never-ending Tetris game. Number 30. You can't technically ever win Tetris. Well, at least not in the original NES incarnation. Topping out is unavoidable. Number 31. The highest score on classic NES Tetris is 999,999. If you have reached anywhere near that number, you're like an amazing gamer. Let me know in the comments below. I want to know what you've scored. Number 32. The Tetris theme song is a classic. The music that plays during the game in the background is actually a remake of Korobeniki. It's a 19th century Russian folk song, you know, over 100 years old, no big deal. Number 33. Korobeniki tells the tale of a girl who haggles with a peddler over the price of his goods. Sexual metaphor intended, by the way. His goods. Anyways, it has lyrics. That's what I just meant to say. Number 34. The Tetris song has been remixed in almost every single game since 1987. Number 35. The complete history of the Soviet Union has been arranged into the medley of Tetris. That's right, it even has Tetris-themed imagery and lyrics. Number 35. The complete history of the Soviet Union has been arranged into the medley of Tetris. That's right, it even has Tetris-themed imagery and lyrics. Number 36. When a person spends a lot of time doing a pattern-based activity, they actually start to unconsciously think about and dream about things like this. I mean, they have a whole phenomenon now that's called the Tetris effect. Number 37. Playing Tetris actually increases the width of your cortex. Yeah, by 0.5 millimeter. I mean, your cortex is the part of the brain that's responsible for memory, for attention, for awareness, for thought, for language, and consciousness. Number 38. This very teeny tiniest, smallest game of Tetris required an electron microscope and 42 glass microspheres. Number 39. It is also possible to play Tetris on the old HP 54600B oscilloscopes. I mean, if you have one of those lying around, that is. Number 40. The record for completing 40 lines of Tetris is actually 19.68 seconds. That's right. Which was taken by Japanese player Kuroko. Number 41. You know that little feature that helps you slide the pieces back and forth just before it hits the bottom? Yeah, that's called a soft drop. And it wasn't even developed until 5 years after the game's release. Number 42. This has got to be one of my very, very favorite facts. When the game was created, it actually had a boss button. It was created so that people, when they were playing games at work, could hit the boss button when he came by, and it would just pop up this spreadsheet. I mean, how awesome is that? I kind of wish we still had that. Number 43. Pajinov's first Tetris sequel was created in 1989, and he called it Weltris. It added this third dimension to the game, but it really wasn't all that popular, so nobody really remembers. Sorry, Pajinov. Number 44. Pajinov's next sequels were in 1990, where he created Faces Tris 3, which involved rotating the pieces to create different faces, and Hatris, which was Well, happy. Number 45. Another collector's item is the Atari version of the game, called Tetris: The Soviet Mind Game. It had to come off the shelves though because there was this whole legal dispute with Nintendo about the rights, and there were only about 100,000 copies made. Number 46. Lots of the gaming fans actually preferred the Atari version because it gave opportunity to have two players playing simultaneously. Number 47. There's been many versions of the Tetris game, but the one created for the Nintendo Electronic System is considered the canon classic, and they use it in the annual Tetris World Championships. Number 48. If you own the Mega Drive version of Tetris, you could possibly be sitting on a large sum of money. Sega started to produce the game for the 16-bit machine, but it had to pull out due to legal reasons from Nintendo. Rumor has it, if you had this version of the game, since there's only about a dozen floating around, you could be sitting on $16,000. Number 49, a Mega Drive version of Tetris, which was actually signed by Alexei Pavlov, was put up on eBay for $1 million. Number 50, there's actually a worrying and stress-inducing version of Tetris for Jenga. Number 51, Tetris fanfiction can be found on fanfiction.net. Some of that is really deeply profound. Number 52, there are bars that serve Tetris tots. Not only does it make you both hungry, but it makes you want to play. Number 53, to score a Tetris, it means that you've wiped out all 4 lines all at once. It can only be done if you use a long bar vertical, but that has got to be seriously satisfying. Number 54, the game's significance in Russian cultural history was outlined at the 2014 Paralympic Games, when Tetris blocks were actually used to spell out the word impossible in the ceremony. Number 55, Tetris 64 released in Japan only for N64 in 1988. It added this diabolical feature that measured the player's heart rate while they were playing, and it sped up the game as that person's heart rate increased. Number 56, Tetris was reworked and retweaked many times over. However, none of the Tetris Party, Tetris Access, Tetris Evolution, Tetris Sphere, or Tetris Attack, and the rest have ever even come close to just the simple genius of the original Tetris. Number 57, media mogul Robert Maxwell once arranged a meeting with Mikhail Gorbachev to try to buy the rights to the game. Maxwell's son Kevin was not happy that the Soviet state had sold the rights off to Nintendo. Unfortunately for the Maxwells, on the date that they were due a meeting about the rights, an earthquake hit the country and the rights remained with Nintendo. Number 58, fans of the game in Philadelphia played the game on a 437-foot skyscraper earlier this year in a stunning stunt. It was organized by game designer Frank Lee. Players were able to drop pieces down to the side of a 29-story-foot building using a joystick. He pulled off a similar architectural stunt in 2013 with Pong. Number 59, Tetris was the first game ever exported from the USSR to the Western world. Number 60, Tetris is still played over 1 million times a day. Number 61, Tetris turned 30 on June 6, 2014. Number 62, Music A in version 1.1 of the Nintendo Game Boy edition of Tetris is so popular that it has been covered by various musical artists such as German group Scooter, Swedish DJ Dr. P, and rock band Ozma. Number 63. In March 2014, the Tetris company announced it will bring Tetris, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 with Ubisoft and Soma Play for the game's 30th anniversary. Number 64. Tetris was rated the world's greatest game of all time in Monthly American Video Game Magazine Electronic Game and Monthly's 100th issue, as well as number 2 of IGN's list of 100 greatest games of all time. Number 65. A PC version of the Tetris game made its way over to Hungary and was published by British software house Andromeda before the rights were secured. Andromeda then sold the rights to Spectrum Holobyte. In 1988, the Soviet government began to market the game's rights. Over the next several years, the game experienced legal issues with several companies like Sega and Atari. Number 66. In 1996, the rights were reverted from the Russian government over to Pajinov. The Tetris company currently holds copyright registrations for Tetris products in the US. Number 67, Tetris is one of the world's greatest selling video games of all time, according to the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition. Number 68, Patrick Stewart is an admitted Tetris addict. Number 69, Yuri Yevashenko, director of Russian Academy in the 1980s, claims that Tetris is so successful because it's unlike American games. It's about building an order. Number 70, Beyonce Knowles says she liked Tetris while growing up. Number 71. The Simpsons has included references to Tetris in multiple episodes, including Strong Arms of the Ma and 30 Minutes Over Tokyo. Number 72. Tetris has been mentioned in numerous popular animated shows. For instance, Family Guy, Futurama, Captain N, The Game Master, and Muppet Babies. Number 73. In September 2002, Frederator, 23 of Blackburn, was jailed for 4 months after refusing to turn off his mobile on a flight from Egypt to Manchester. The crew asked him 3 times to turn it off because it was interfering with their systems, but every time he would turn it back on. Why, you ask? Because he was playing Tetris. Number 74. Tetris has been mentioned on many popular television shows, including Big Bang Theory, Revenge, and The Office. Number 75. The Tetris theme song is so famous that it is now registered as a sound mark in US and in other countries. Number 76. In 2013, General Motors used the Tetris brand's famous Tetris pieces and iconic music to promote its 2013 Chevrolet Traverse. Number 77. In 2009, an outdoor art exhibit in Sydney, Australia, featured giant Entronimo sculptures that lit up the corridors of Abercrombie Lane. Number 78. Director Adam Cornelius' 2012 documentary, Ecstasy of Order, The Tetris Masters, chronicles the lives of several top Tetris players as they prepare to compete in the 2010 Classic Tetris World Championship. Number 79. In 1989, the Software Publishers Association awards Tetris for excellence in software awards, which were then pretty much considered the Oscars for the software industry. Number 80. The Tetris guidelines were created in 1996 to help create some sort of consistency and quality standards for Tetris. Number 81. Artist Roger Dean designed the bold and distinctive logo for Tetris. Number 82. In 2002, Hank Rogers establishes Blue Lava Wireless to develop Tetris for mobile devices in North America. Tetris rapidly gains momentum in the mobile market in North America, and with strategic partnerships in Korea and Europe, it becomes a leader in mobile games. Number 83. Jamdat purchased Blue Lava Wireless and obtains an exclusive worldwide 15-year license to publish Tetris on mobile devices in 2005. Number 84. EA purchased Jamdat 1 year later and becomes the new exclusive licensee for Tetris on mobile devices. Number 85. Tetris for the iPod was launched in 2006 and it instantly becomes Apple's #1 downloadable game. Number 86. Tetris for the Nintendo DS has sold over 2 million copies worldwide. Number 87. Alexei Pajitnov received the first Penguin Award for the development of the game. Number 88. In 2008, Tetris Online releases the Tetris Party on the Wii. Tetris Party soon climbs to the #1 charts for the WiiWare downloads and is nominated for the Best WiiWare Game 2008 and Puzzle Game 2008 by IGN. Number 89. NHN Hand Game launched an online multiplayer Tetris in Korea, and it quickly became #1 in 2008 as one of the best casual games for them. Number 90. The official web-based Tetris game is Tetris Friends Online Games. Number 91. 2009's Guinness World Records Gamers Edition actually ranked Tetris #2 as the top 50 console games of all time. Number 92. There is a huge Tetris merchandise line featuring clothing, jewelry, decorative items, household goods, and tons more. Number 93. In 2010, Tetris surpassed 100 million mobile downloads, actually becoming the best-selling mobile game of all time. Number 94. Tetris has expanded into augmented reality with the game Tetris Access on the Nintendo 3DS. Number 95. Tetris Link, which is a real-life toy version of the Tetris game, has actually won multiple awards. Number 96. The US state of New Jersey actually has Tetris-themed lottery tickets. Number 97. Facebook's Tetris Battle game has actually been played over 20 billion times. Number 98. Currently, more than 1 billion games of Tetris Battle are played on Facebook every month. Number 99. Believe it or not, there's a Bop It game actually made by Hasbro for Tetris. Number 100. In a recent study at the Harvard Medical School's Department of Psychiatry, 27 Tetris players spent 7 hours a day for 3 days playing the game, and most of them had Tetris dreams. Number 101. In 2013, Caledone's Tetris Lite wins Gift of the Year. Number 102. There are a total of 139 Tetris games that have made up to date, such as these guys. Keep going. That pretty much sums it up. That's a lot of games. Number 103. On June 6, 2009, Tetris was Google Doodle! Unfortunately, the doodle wasn't playable though. Number 104. EA releases Tetris for the iPhone and iPod Touch in 2008. Number 105. In 2010, Tetris Party Deluxe launches for Nintendo DS and the Wii. Number 106. Tetris for the PlayStation Network launches to critical acclaim in 2010. Number 107. If you're using a Mac, there's actually a hidden game of Tetris in your computer. How sweet is that? Thanks for watching, guys. Once again, I'm your host, Stephanie, here over on Leaderboard. And if you liked what you see, then go ahead and leave us a like or comment down below what you'd like to see next. All right, guys, till next week. See you then.